it became evident that embracing emerging technologies was not just an option, but a necessity for staying competitive. And witnessing this realization among top executives highlighted the fundamental shift.
Evan, with your extensive experience as a tech strategist and executive coach, has undoubtedly shaped your perspective. Can you share a pivotal moment that led you to understand the crucial role of technology in today's C suite leadership landscape?
Yes, I would love to. As an executive coach and strategist with a focus on leadership in the digital age, I've encountered a few pivotal moments that underscore the critical role of technology in today's executive C suite landscape. One particular instance stands out. It happened actually a couple of weeks ago during a strategic planning session with a multinational corporation. It became evident that embracing emerging technologies was not just an option, but a necessity for staying competitive. And witnessing this realization among top executives, I suppose, highlighted the fundamental shift occurring in how businesses operate and the imperative for leaders and managers and C suite to adapt in that shift.
Absolutely, completely agree. I think every business now needs to adapt to this shift because if you're not adapting with it, it's going to adapt without you. So now I'm very
It,
curious. So,
yeah,
which
it,
industry?
no, it's like what Charles Darwin said, that in the future, it is not the smartest or the strongest who will survive, but the one who is more adaptable to change.
Definitely, I completely agree with that. So, in your role of guiding C suite executives, can you recount a situation where they successfully integrated tech strategies to align their people strategy with their business goals,
Mhm.
demonstrating their journey towards effective leadership in the digital age?
Yeah, I suppose in one memorable case, a company implemented a comprehensive, I remember, digital transformation initiative that not only streamlined internal processes, but also empowered its people, empowered its employees through innovative tools and training programs. And this alignment, and I think it's really important, the alignment between technology and human capital ultimately leads to improved performance metrics and a more agile and responsive organization in today's change of workplace. This is something I also write in my book because I'm the author of Leading in VUCA Times, and here is the book. I write about how important is adaptability and what leaders must do in order to stay competitive in today's business world.
Definitely. I think what you said about adaptability is so crucial because I think because things are changing so quickly right now. And if you are not adaptable, it's going to leave without you.
Yes, it's important as a leader
So,
and as a company to stay relevant.
definitely. So, do you have any examples of industries and companies that you worked with that you feel like they did this really well, and then some that didn't do this very well?
I recall a situation, it was around like a year ago, where a company, obviously I cannot mention names because we signed NDA. There is a company, so there is a situation where a company's outdated infrastructure slowed down productivity and innovation. So the leadership team, with my help as an executive coach, recognized the need for a significant overhaul, but they faced resistance from stakeholders reluctant to change. Some of this, some of the middle managers, and you can understand that they were so overwhelmed with work that they said, "Look, it's too much work. We cannot do that." So the senior leadership team faced resistance. But what we did through effective communication and strategic planning, they gradually, step by step, implemented solutions such as cloud computing and automation. And they managed to transform the organization and solidify their reputation as a forward thinking company and as forward thinking leaders.
Definitely. I think what you said about resistance to change and also that being solved with communication, I think that's very key because in a large company, I think in a small company, it's very easy to innovate, right? Because you just get a few people who are very forward thinking. But once you scale to a certain level, there's going to be some things that are going to block you from changing as rapidly.
Yes, and this is where you need stakeholder engagement, and this is where communication is important. For me, communication is the hallmark of effective and good leadership. Good leaders know how to communicate good and effective, and they make their message interesting enough to excite people, but also simple enough to be understood.
Definitely. Reflecting on your experiences, can you describe a scenario where C suite leaders face significant technology challenges and how they navigated through them, emerging as effective leaders?
Yes, one case, again, is about reluctance. And here we're talking about a CEO. I've coached a CEO that he was reluctant to embrace digital tools and data driven decision making, severely hindered the company's ability to adapt to market trends, to pivot, and they missed out opportunities to capitalize on them. So, despite resistance, though, and through coaching and self reflection and identifying goals, the CEO of that company eventually recognized the need for upskilling because it is about upskilling and enlisted the support of technology experts, leading to a transformative shift, to a transformative change in leadership style and organizational culture. Nowadays, with
Well,
hybrid work, with remote work, if as leaders we don't embrace technology, how do we expect to manage and lead people from afar?
definitely. Yeah, of course. So, you said a word which really struck me. You said about something about self reflection. And I think that's very interesting because I recently heard a quote that they said that your business can grow only as far as you do. Do you agree with that?
Absolutely, I agree with that. And sometimes, what is the challenge? Sometimes we ourselves, we are blocking our own way. So sometimes what you should do as a leader, and this is where coaching helps you, is to go on the balcony. Metaphorically speaking, what do I go on the balcony? Try to stand out of your own company and try to have a helicopter view to see how things are. And we call that go on the balcony because managers and leaders sometimes they work too much in the company inside, but sometimes you need to step aside a little bit and try to see things from a higher perspective. We call it go on the balcony and see what is happening around you. It is not easy. It is not easy. It needs self reflection. It needs us to put our egos away. But this is where coaching helps you because coaching is challenging you. Coaching will push you, and coaching will help you to find the answers to yourself.
Absolutely. I really like the metaphor of going to the balcony. Yeah, it's very clear because sometimes you need a bigger picture view because sometimes we just work in our own space and we just like, we feel like that's it, right? But then if you see, oh, wait, this is not working, this communication style isn't working, especially if you haven't adapted to what you said with like remote work technologies, that's definitely going to be something to work on.
Yes, it's leadership. It's a never-ending process, and in my opinion, in my humble opinion, leadership and the way we manage and we lead teams and we lead stakeholders and we drive companies forward is a never-ending learning process. And the minute you think you know it all, the minute you say, "I know everything. This is how we've always done it," for me, you have lost the game.
Yeah, yeah. I was gonna say that like your company is over because you think you know everything, so you're not gonna grow. Your company isn't gonna grow.
Yes.
Definitely. So, as you've worked with leaders, have you witnessed a case where a leader's grasp or lack thereof of technology has a profound impact on their effectiveness? Can you share the story of technological revelation or challenge?
Yes, it happens often. It's more than one case. And it happened a lot, especially when the first lockdowns came, if you remember. It was almost 3 years ago. Right now we have February 2024. The first lockdowns came in around February, March 2020, right? So there were a lot of companies who didn't want to adapt new technology, and sometimes they have no idea what to do. And it's again, it's one of those things that technology is becoming part of daily life, especially when you're managing remote or hybrid teams, because you're not every day there. If you're not every day there, there is no more managing by walking about. You cannot go around your floor to see how your people are doing. So how are you going to manage them and lead them from afar? And I totally disagree with some company policies where if you work from home, you need to install on your laptop a software that monitors your web browsing activity. It happens. You are laughing, Panida, but it happens. And
I
for me,
know.
it happens. And for me, effective leadership is about influence, is not about control.
Yep, definitely. I completely agree. I think, yeah, like controlling people, it's honestly, if you're better at technology than your boss, you would figure out how to only show the parts you want to show on your computer. And you actually have another computer right next to you. You can do anything. So I think, but if you're inspired by the leadership who has adapted to technology in a way that actually makes you feel like working, that would make a lot more sense.
Yes, I agree with you. Yeah.
So, on your own journey, what personal experiences or challenges have influenced your path towards becoming a tech strategist and an executive coach?
Yeah, my journey, I suppose, has been influenced by both professional experiences and personal challenges. I remember early in my career where I got my first managerial role when I was 25 years old. So at that time, I navigated the complexities of implementing enterprise software solutions at that time, which obviously, gaining valuable insights into the intersection of technology and business strategy, and additionally, overcoming adversity in the form of organizational restructuring taught me the importance of resilience and adaptability in leadership roles.
It's very amazing that you were in your first managerial role at 25. Which company was it? Was this?
Yes, it was in the UK when I worked in the UK straight out of university. I worked for that company as a team leader for a couple of years, and then I was thrown at the deep. And it was very exciting. I remember it was very frightening. But it's one of those things like that you either sink or swim. You sink or swim. It was one of those things. I learned a lot. I made tons of mistakes, and it was I can definitely say now that it was one of the best work and life experience that I ever had. It was really like a paid university where they paid me, and at the same time I was learning.
That's the best kind of education, isn't it?
Yeah, I think so. Reflecting
So
back to it now, yes.
that's excellent. So, can you open up about a moment of adversity or transformation in your career and how it shaped your approach to leadership and technology?
Yeah. Look, my interests outside my work, I will tell you in general, like my interests are in psychology and human behavior. And I was also fascinated by the way people act in an organizational setting, because a company and business, it is an organization. It's like a family. It's an entity of different individuals with different needs, different wants, different feelings. My interest in psychology and human behavior I suppose they shape my perspective on leadership and technology. And on a personal level, for myself, I engage in activities such as meditation and hiking, helped me maintain balance and clarity in the middle of the fast paced, changing world, allowing for creative problem solving and I suppose holistic approaches to leadership development. Again, the way I see things is leadership is like a muscle. You need to train it every now and then. And good leaders, if you're listening to this and you're a manager, a leader, or a business owner, I really see it. Good leaders, they never stop learning. And it's the mindset. It's the mindset of that continuous learning that keeps you fresh and keeps you relevant.
Definitely. I completely agree. Always keep learning. And also, yeah, I think it's very clear that you're into human psychology from your metaphors about the balcony, which I was just thinking, wow, okay, this guy definitely into personal development. He's definitely read all the books, right?
Yes, I'm very interested. I'm doing it. I am doing research on it as we speak. I'm doing research on organizational structure as well as leadership development.
That's excellent. So, do you have a favorite like personal development book that kind you feel like it brought you today to be the kind of person who also writes these kind of books?
No, I wrote my book. I wrote my book couple of years ago. It was published last year, Leading in VUCA Times. I don't really have a favorite book, but it's a set of experiences that shapes our opinions because our opinions are based on the experiences we have. It's about the mindset. It's about the mindset as a leader. It's about the mind as a leader. You can learn all the techniques and the strategies on how to manage and lead your team. But if your mindset is not there, and what do I mean by mindset? I do believe that a successful leaders and managers mindset says that the success of me depends on the success and the performance of my team. And this is the
Definitely.
mindset
I
for
really
me.
like that. I love that because it seems like you've learned mainly from experience rather than any kind of cookie cutter way, right?
Yeah, there is no cookie cutter approach to leadership. There is, you learn from experiences, and especially if you look at pedagogy and andragogy. Pedagogy is the way kids learn at school, they learn different. But the way grown ups learn, we learn mainly from experience and by doing rather than from reading. It's the 70-20-10 rule, which says 10% as a grown up, if you want to learn something at your work, 10% come from the things you read or attending a seminar, whatever. 20% will come by observing others doing it. And 70% will come from you doing it yourself.
I love that. Yeah, I love that because I think there's like this kind of addiction to over learning. And I think some people might fall into that trap and they take too much time learning and too little time executing.
Yeah, executing exactly. Let's look at your example. You've been doing loads of podcasts and you are on YouTube, you're on LinkedIn. You could have written all the books about how to do a podcast and you could have watched all the YouTube videos on how to do a podcast. But unless you start doing podcasts and then you reflect and you learn from your mistakes, you will never learn. So execution is the key. I think you agree with that, right? You're learning from doing.
Definitely. I think no books would teach me like how to do a podcast as much as just having a mic and just starting.
Exactly.
So beyond your professional life, what personal interests or hobbies have played a role in shaping your perspective and balancing your journey in the tech world?
Yes, as I said, I'm interested in psychology. I'm interested in human behavior. I like to meditate. I like to go hiking and I like to do a lot of sports activities and sports. And when I release my energy, it really helps me relax and refresh myself.
Absolutely. In today's digital age, how can C suite leaders leverage technology to cultivate the right company culture, allowing their teams to flourish and contribute to the organization's growth and success?
Hey, look, which leader is not using technology? And today's managers and C suites can leverage technology, first of all, to cultivate a thriving company culture. Technology can help you as a manager with transparency, collaboration, and continuous learning. There are hundreds of platforms for remote work and communication where they facilitate flexibility and inclusivity. While at the same time, as a leader, data analytic tools provide insights into employee engagement and performance. There are so many IT tools that you can use nowadays to look at data and then make educated decisions. I believe that by embracing these technologies, leaders and managers can create an environment where teams feel empowered to innovate and contribute to the company's success.
Absolutely. I completely agree. I've hosted somewhat on data analytics, and I think it's super useful for companies. But also, I think one of the things that might stop like companies from embracing it could be like the fear of being replaced by like technology that's better than them. Like, do you have something to say about that?
Yeah, it's a very hot topic, right? It's not about being replaced, it's about humans. We elevate ourselves into the next level of work. For example, do you really want another human to clean toilets?
Yeah, I think that's a good question, right? Because if you
With all
can
the
find, yeah,
with all the respect, yeah, with all the respect. But do you want another human to do the things that can be done by robots? It's not about being replaced, it's about being elevated to do more meaningful work. And right now, we are in the process of changing. That's why it looks a bit scary. It's going to take many years. And if you look at history, we always had jobs in the past that don't exist anymore. I'm not sure if, but around 100, years ago, there was a job. It used to be called the window knocker. Do you know what that
uh,
is?
no,
No. Yeah, it was with the industrial era, the industrial revolution, when people started to work in factories. Obviously, the watches did not exist, or not everyone could afford a watch. So, window knockers, there were some guys with long sticks. They have a list of workers in the factory, and they will go around the houses at 6, 7 o'clock, knock the window with a stick to wake them up to go to work. That was an actual job.
wow.
So if I know it's a little bit scary, maybe some jobs will be eliminated. And we are really in a transformation phase as a society. It's not gonna be easy. Um, but do we really want people to do eventually a job that only needs the eye and hand to be performed will be eliminated? Like supermarket checkouts, airport check-ins, sanitation, and all that. It will be eventually be replaced by robots. Even food delivery, it will be replaced by robots over the next 5 to 10 years, right?
Yeah, definitely. I think it's absolutely scary, but what you said about being elevated to do more meaningful work makes it more exciting for everyone. And I think people should think about that rather because there's nothing we can do about technological disruption, but just upskill ourselves to the next level.
Yes, it's not going to be easy. That's why we need adaptability. And this is where maybe we need the mindset, okay, I, I, I have been doing this job for the last 10 years. For the next 10 years, I will be doing something else. And then for the next 10 years, I will be doing something else. And I think this is where we're heading.
It does seem like it. So you've mentioned your expertise in driving consistent, scalable revenue growth. How can technology serve as a catalyst for this growth, particularly for C suite leaders striving to overcome challenges and seize opportunities?
Yes, as I said, for managers and C suites, leveraging emerging technologies such as AI, data, IoT, of Things, and blockchain can really unlock new revenue streams enhance, and that's a big thing, enhance and improve customer experience. Really, technology can improve customer experience. And also, technology can help optimize operations. So it's about three things: revenue streams, improve customer experience, and optimize operations. And I believe that by embracing a culture of experimentation and strategic investment in technology, because really the investment needs to be strategic, managers and companies and leaders can stay ahead of the curve and capitalize on those evolving market trends.
Absolutely. Yeah, making sure to stay updated and capitalizing on these trends before everyone's done it, essentially.
Yes.
So, based on your experience across the Asia Pacific, can you share an example of a tech strategy or solution that has had a universally positive impact on C-suite leaders, helping them lead their companies towards success?
Mm, yes, I remember a case where I've seen the transformative impact of tech strategies that prioritize agility. The key point here is agility and customer centricity. Agility and customer centricity. They put the customer first. For example, implementing cloud-based platforms for supply chain management, because there is a lot of challenges right now with disruption in the supply chain, as we know globally. This has enabled companies to adapt quickly to changing market dynamics and to customer demands. Also, similarly, leveraging data analytics to personalize customer experience, this has led to significant improvements in customer satisfaction, loyalty, and retention. So I do believe that these tech solutions are becoming essential tools for executive leaders that are really looking to navigate complex business environments and drive sustainable growth.
Absolutely. I completely agree. I think you definitely need to be using some form of tools, but also there is the question of how many tools would you recommend? If you're speaking to a CEO and they're like, okay, I see 300 of tools that I can use to solve all these problems. How many would you?
The good question, but the answer is it depends. Like, it depends on your business needs. It depends on the market needs. Like the shift that we see now, what I've seen happening when the first lockdowns came about 3 years ago, lots of companies try to adapt to a lot of technology, buying this platform, downloading this software, using this AI, using it. And after 2, 3 years, they realize, what do I actually need?
Yeah.
So you need to sit down after all this saga that went about and see, what do you actually need? Which one makes sense, economic sense? What are the objectives that you want to achieve? So you need to make a strategic decision.
So it's more about trying many of them and then cutting down to just the essentials.
Having too many as well sometimes is it's too costly, and you will make things more complicated. So you really need to find out. You need to start with a question that, what do I want to achieve? And then once you have a specific answer of this question, you can then see how technology can help you and what tools to use. But technology, if it's not integrated with human capital, with trained human capital, with good managers, it can sometimes have a negative effect. You cannot fully rely on technology. It's a combination. Successful companies use, and I think this is going to where we're going, use technology and use human capital in the correct way.
I really like that advice. And I think that's very good advice to close up our podcast episode on human capital and technology. We need both. So thank you so much, Evan, for coming on the show and sharing all your expertise today.
The pleasure was mine. Thank you for having me.
Thank you.